Most people believe stretching protects their joints after 50, but orthopedic research shows that flexibility alone is not what keeps joints healthy. After 50, your joints depend on another system entirely, one most people never train. And today, I'm going to show you 3 simple exercises that activate it and help protect your joints as you age. Stay with me. Let's start with number 3. Exercise number 3, the seated resistance band row. Sit upright on a firm chair. Loop a resistance band around a stable anchor point in front of you. Hold one end in each hand. Pull both hands slowly toward your hips, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Then return slowly and with control. Repeat 12 times. 3 sets. This strengthens the muscles of your upper back and shoulders, which helps correct the forward rounded posture that places strain on the neck and upper spine. A strong upper back improves posture, and posture directly affects joint alignment throughout the body. Exercise number 2, the resistance band squat. Stand on a light resistance band with your feet shoulder-width apart, holding the ends at shoulder height. Lower slowly into a squat, keeping your back straight. Then rise back up deliberately. 10 repetitions, 3 sets. This strengthens the quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, and core. These muscles act as the primary stabilizers of your knees and hips. Research published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found that resistance band training produced strength gains comparable to traditional weight training in older adults, while placing significantly less stress on the joints. Exercise number 1. The wall push-up. Stand facing a wall. Place both palms flat against it at shoulder height. Step back slightly. Bend your elbows slowly, lowering your chest toward the wall. Then push yourself back to the starting position. Repeat 10 to 15 times. 3 sets. This movement strengthens the chest, shoulders, and triceps, while placing almost no impact on your joints. As the exercise becomes easier, simply step farther away from the wall to increase resistance gradually. Now you might be wondering why these exercises matter so much. To understand that, we need to look at what happens inside the body after 50. Stretching improves flexibility, but flexibility without strength creates instability. A joint that moves through a wide range of motion without the muscular strength to control that motion is an unstable joint. And unstable joints are injured joints waiting to happen. This is exactly what orthopedic surgeons mean when they say stretching alone is not enough. After 50, 2 biological changes accelerate inside your body. The first is muscle loss. Research from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons shows that adults lose roughly 3 to 8% of muscle mass per decade after age 30. After 50, that decline accelerates. Stretching does not rebuild muscle. Without strong muscles surrounding your joints, those joints carry loads they were never designed to handle alone. Cartilage deteriorates faster, tendons become more vulnerable, and pain becomes more common. The second change involves your tendons and ligaments. A 2021 study in the Journal of Orthopedic Research found that tendon strength and load capacity decline measurably after age 50. Tendons become less responsive, less elastic, and more susceptible to injury. Stretching maintains tendon flexibility, but it does not rebuild tendon strength. Only one thing does: progressive resistance training. Progressive resistance training simply means gradually increasing the load placed on your muscles and connective tissues. The orthopedic evidence behind it is remarkably consistent. A 2022 meta-analysis published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine reviewed more than 40 clinical trials. The conclusion was clear. Progressive resistance training significantly reduced joint pain, improved mobility, and slowed the progression of osteoarthritis in adults over 50. This is not experimental advice. It is the current foundation of orthopedic care for aging joints. So here is what we know. Stretching maintains flexibility, but strength training protects your joints. Progressive resistance training rebuilds muscle mass, strengthens tendons, and reduces stress on the joints. The three movements we discussed, the seated row, the resistance band squat, and the wall push-up, are safe, accessible, and recommended by orthopedic specialists. Start with one today. Add the others this week, and give your joints the strength they need to support you for years to come. Now I want to hear from you. Are you currently doing any resistance training, or has stretching been your main routine? Leave your answer in the comments below. If this video helped you, please share it with someone over 50 who deserves to know this. Thank you for watching. Take care of your body. It responds to every good decision you make.